And so what got you involved in Safe? Tell us a little bit about Safe in the Panhandle. We know, by the way, you can find it at www, which I don't think you have to say anymore. Just age myself. I'm a dad from the 1900s. But yeah, HTTPS ... // No, but so it's safeinthepanhandle.com.
Yeah.
Safeinthepanhandle.com. That's where you can go. Safeinthepanhandle.com. But tell us about that, Jerry.
All right, so Safe in the Panhandle it's a group of people that dare to ask the question: How do we enforce labor and sex trafficking in the Panhandle?
Right.
And when I moved down here, I was starting over. I was looking for something to do with my hands. I grew up in Leroy. I'd done some farming growing up, but I knew there were some men that had bought a farm up in the Funiac, and they were building a working farm that would fund the activities of Safe in the Panhandle. And Safe in the Panhandle is an alliance of individuals and groups and organizations that are working together to, again, end sex trafficking. Florida is a hub of sex trafficking in the U.S. It ranks third in number of sex trafficking incidents that are reported.
So we're like right behind Atlanta?
Yeah.
No, wow. I mean, it's got to be California, Texas, Florida, right?
I think Atlanta, the Hartsfield-Jackson is a big
airport.
one. It's also crazy enough. It's because almost from anywhere in the world you can fly into Atlanta, and then you fly right back out. So if you're in Chicago and you were flying in, you can fly in and traffic somebody or abuse someone in a way, and then fly right back out. So that's why Atlanta tends to be a hub a lot.
So Safe, whether it's education, awareness, we work with law enforcement agencies in Florida and around the country, other organizations that have developed apps that help catch solicitations. But
do you work with that? Ashton Kutcher used to do some stuff like that, or he had something that was in, I feel like, human trafficking and sex trafficking. I don't know. He had an app I think he was developing.
But we have a farm in the county where we planted we have about 160 mandarin orange trees.
Ooh, nice.
20 beehives now. Just had 15 more added this week.
Are they actually doing good?
The bees?
The bee population is struggling right now.
Not doing bad.
Okay.
Not doing bad.
Good.
When we first started, we started with 8, but then we lost a few queens. But then it's growing. We just planted 1,500 blueberry bushes last week.
That's right.
Oh, awesome.
He came to a tennis match and could barely walk.
You're saying all the things my daughter eats: blueberries,
honey,
oranges.
I could barely. Last week, my hamstrings were about to snap. I did not anticipate how hard it was going to be to plant the smallest plant.
Yeah.
So it wore me out. And I'm kind of out of shape too. But then we'll eventually have a Christmas tree farm. And
heck yeah!
So women that we rescue out of trafficking. So the farm's called Ruth Lake Farms.
Okay.
We will sell the products, and it will fund our work.
Safe in the Panhandle.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
Cool.
And if people want to get involved in that, I assume they can go to safeinthepanhandle.com. I know there's a donate button. We're looking at the website right now. Donate button. I imagine they can contact you and figure out maybe how they can volunteer and all that, all through the website. I assume,
I am our. So I came here and started just helping them with the farm work.
Right.
But I fell in love with the project, and the more I'm learning about just the sex trafficking, the stories that I've heard, I mean, the women we've already rescued here, it just breaks your heart.
Local here.
Yeah, local.
Right here.
It's not just it's not like the movie Taken.
Right.
I think it's just you travel overseas, your dog gets snatched up, put in the drug trade and sold. I mean,
it's a slow fade.
It's much more.
A boyfriend starts liking you, and then the next thing you know, he's not really your boyfriend. He starts taking advantage of you, and then you're in a way, and you're separated and isolated from your family. I mean, the stories are insane for sure. My wife worked with a group in Atlanta that was, I don't know why the name's slipping me. If I think about it, I'll throw it up because they do a great job too. But she went through a background check and all this stuff so she could kind of volunteer with the ladies group that was helping getting women out of trafficking. I mean, it's a question I have with you. Most of the time we think of slavery today as kind of like if people are listening to this and they hear the word sex trafficking or modern day slavery is what I like to call it.
Yeah.
When they hear that word, they would say, I thought slavery was over. The Civil War is done. I mean, what does slavery look like today?
I mean, there are more people in slavery and forced labor today than there has been in the history of the slave trade.
Yes.
One, there's more people today than there was then.
So it's not like we've ended slavery.
No,
because we've evolved as people.
Worldwide.
Yeah. It's gotten worse.
But even here, I mean, it's in plain sight here. There are people that are being forced into labor, whether it's massage parlors. I mean,
well, that's trafficking.
this is not. People don't like this number, but 96% of massage parlors in Florida are illicit.
100%.
And these girls come here promised on scholarship for a better future, for a job that's going to pay, but they come here in debt bondage, and they
work it off.
But they don't. They'll
Ever work it off.
They'll
never work it off their entire life.
So there are ways, and I don't want to give away all our ways of doing it, but ways of getting into these massage parlors to be able to, and the language barrier becomes an issue too.
Sure.
Very few of them speak English.
They know what they need to say to a client.
Yeah, and the hardest thing is getting the girls to say, and a lot of people turn a blind eye. They go, well, they're prostitutes. You know, they're choosing to do that.
Yeah.
Well, when they come here and they're in debt bondage and they don't have anything. There's, for example, Dargay is a girl who came from Venezuela. I guess this was last year. Well, when she got to the border, she's come here legally. She was told by her sponsor, "You can't work for a year, but we're going to fly you out to New York." So they picked her up at the border. They flew her to New York. She was 21. She had 2 kids back home. When they got her to New York, they got her hooked on drugs, and they sent her down here to Destin.
Really?
Yeah, and she was, anyway, the way they found her is a hotel worker that we had trained noticed that the room that she was in, it was just a constant rotation of men coming in.
So did she have a point of contact here then, or how does
she had no one?
They just
so we
sent
were
her
able
down.
to rescue her.
They sent her down to work.
by herself, though, with nobody watching her.
It's a big because there's somebody here that's a handler.
Oh, there's
It's somebody here.
That's who we need to find, is that person.
Well, yeah. I mean, fuck. Juice went deep. Juice went deep. No FCC, baby. But when you say you train the hotel staff, what does that look like?
So
can you say that? What does that look like when you're training hotel staff?
We have people, part of our team that will go in and train them how to spot it. 'Cause that's the key. I mean, for any of us,
how do we know?
be able to spot, like, all right, let's say a girl gets brought into the hospital. I mean, training in hospitals is a big thing. It's a young girl and her uncle or cousin brings her in. If the girl is, when the nurse or whoever, the attendee is asking them questions, if they consistently look at the uncle or the cousin or the brother
For answers.
there's
a high chance.
It's a sign, hey, maybe I should get this girl alone.
Big red flag.
And ask some
I
questions.
did this with my wife when she broke her knee. She fell off the ladder, chipped a bone in her knee.
Is that the story you're still trying to tell?
Multiple times if I did it. I was like, unfortunately, I didn't see it happen because I was laughing.
Oh, shoot.
I didn't know it was that bad.
husband.
I didn't know it was that
I
bad
didn't
until she was like, all right, it actually hurts pretty bad. So, but yeah, they kept asking her that. I'm like, damn, they really think I pushed her off the ladder. But they were trained. I guess they were trained to do that. Yeah.
All right, where are we at?
No, you're just saying how you were
spotting,
training and the different things that go on and how you were training hotels. You're trying to give them the warning signs of this could be sex trafficking. And so then when you're training them, would they call somebody like your organization, Safe in the Panhandle, the organization involved in it?
A lot of times,
or would they just call the police?
Call the police,
Okay.
or call us, and we'll contact police. We work in concert with a lot of the law enforcement around here. And from even we do trainings at churches, so it's not just businesses, but individuals in the community. If they want to come to one of the trainings, just so they can have their
spotted
eyes
as well
open.
too. Yeah. So the jabronis could show up and get trained and
we'll come do a training here.
That'd be great. We ought to do it one time. That'd be awesome. Yeah, what we can look out for and help out. One of the things you do see here in this county and in other counties, these massage parlors. Why is it so hard? If 96% of them are illicit, why is it so hard to shut them down?
Well, one, having somebody actually speak up, and if they don't speak any English,
so you've got to have the victim, you've got to have the person, and they don't know where to go. Another
area where people don't think of is online here, or just in all over our country. So you have the most vulnerable population. I don't want to.
No, I do. No, please tell me. I mean, what is the most vulnerable?
The most vulnerable are kids.
Really?
I mean, the kids.
Because they don't even know what they're doing.
Even here.
How is this possible?
You have bad actors that saddle up next to them on social media pretending to be someone they're not. So whether like here, sextortion, like you'll have someone saddle up with a kid like, hey, I go to your school, I'm friends with so and so. they'll get enough information about the person, the fish, and then they'll start making connections, and they'll use their spicy pics that they end up sending to sextort them. They sell them for money.
Wow.
So that may not look like sex trafficking to someone, but it's using something against the kid. And then, I mean, whether it's cheer competitions, there are lots of ways for sexual predators to get to these kids. So
they're super vulnerable. What can parents do to be more?
One, be very mindful of the apps. I like Bark.
Okay,
my
Bark.
kids, Bark is an app that monitors their app usage and will send you reports to, all right, this is what they're saying in text messages. But just being aware.
We had an app when our kids were really coming through. At this point, I've got two older ones, 21 and almost 20.
Jackson needs it still.
Yeah. I think I might have finally taken Bark off, but I think that's what we used to.
But I mean, sex trafficking, exploitation is happening in every community in the U.S. It's not just in metro areas.
Wow.
I mean, if you have access to the internet, there are people being manipulated. I mean, let's take OnlyFans, for instance.
Yeah.
It's a big site.
It's a million women or something.
I mean, people think that it's just people willingly doing it, but some women, porn.
Okay, that makes sense.
When you watch,
they're forced into it.
When someone's consuming porn, they never know if the woman is doing it willingly.
Yeah.
Is
What's
she
the
being
director
raped?
behind there?
Is there a pimp that's controlling her, that's having her do these sex acts because she didn't have a choice?
We don't even think, guys don't, you're just consuming. In fact, it's something we were just talking with there's a meeting here in the pod area in the building earlier, and Juice and I, we were all talking, and you might have had a chance to meet Mike, who is an ex-FBI agent, and we happened to be talking about that we were having you all with Safe in the Panhandle, and he was just sharing that that the 100% nobody really goes into that willingly. It's always extorted. It's always something. It's always, there's no by choice. But the other flip side of it is it's supply and demand. If there was no demand for it, there wouldn't even. I mean, we could shut it, guys. We could shut it down.
Shut it down
right now. We could shut it down right now by elevating women and treating them with the honor and respect that they deserve through your eyes, your heart, and your ears. We could shut it down right now.
That's right.
Yeah, the more consumption of pornography,
if the demand is there.
It's just like a drug. I mean, I look at it as drug addiction.
Yeah.
Once someone gets
100%.
addicted to
The
porn,
dopamine in your head and all that,
it's going to become more deviant, more deviant, because they're never going to satisfy that addiction they have. And it's an addiction. It's a cancer.
Well, it's an absolute ridiculous barrier too for women. I mean, when you choosing to go down that world, like whatever you're seeing online, whatever that you're seeing there, that is not how intimacy in the bedroom looks like. And so the expectation you're providing, that you're setting, for
especially
your
if you're like
spouse or
16
mate
or something,
whatever,
and never even
never
done anything, and you're seeing all this stuff.
It's not going to be like
God,
that. It's not. It's not like that. And that's not how it should ever be seen. What goes on?
This guy's so much different from when we grew up, because we didn't have
we didn't have the internet
phones. Oh, well, we did, but not
the same way.
Well, you're in Indiana, but I'm just saying, we couldn't consume it like that. So I can't imagine now being that age.
I remember I talked with an older gentleman one time, and he was sharing with me his addiction. And of course, wouldn't say his name, but he was sharing with me his addiction. It happened to be around the porn, and he said, I did it for so long. I remember having to sit and wait on dial-up. I mean, now you've got I don't even know what it'd be like now with
3 hours to watch something.
Terabyte. Yeah, right. And I laugh at it, and it was his joke. I mean, he knew it was bad, and but it was kind of a joke that he had. I've been doing it so long, I remember dial-up. But you're right. I mean, it's definitely but it's always been there. I mean, you go back to the saloon days in Western. Yeah. I mean, it's been around. I mean, Europe, you had madams and all of this. I mean, this stuff is
it's nothing new.
No, it's not. It's been around forever. I mean, concubines in Egypt. I mean, there's just all of these different things. It goes back throughout history.
Now, to go back to who are the most vulnerable, kids in the foster system.
Okay,
kids in foster care.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Runaways. And people in extreme poverty.
Yeah.
So one thing I have here is I am really have a name for it, but I'm working with several churches in the area where I'm trying to model a program for them to encourage their bodies, the church bodies, to build relationships with the J-1 visa workers we have here. Because a lot of them,
So J-1 visa, for the audience and listeners that don't live here, can you give a heads up what that is?
International workers that are coming here on a work visa.
Right.
A lot of times,
Eastern Europe, I've seen a lot from Eastern Europe.
They also come seasonality, too, from some
like
of the
8
islands.
months out of the year normally.
To come out of the islands and work some of the resort areas and the beaches and in the back, all the stuff that we need help with.
There's a lot of sandusking,
Yeah.
a lot of them get approached by traffickers or pimps because all they're doing is they're coming here to work.
Mm-hmm.
They're not coming here to have a social life, and they're just here to make money.
Right.
Well, they'll have somebody saddle up with them, kind of like these kids. If you have a teenage daughter and they have somebody that's showering them with gifts, giving them cash, a lot of these guys will say, "Here's $500. Don't worry about paying me back." These are the J-1 workers I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Approaching them, "Here's $500. Don't worry about it." Come back a couple weeks later, like, "I need that money." Well, they've either sent it home or they spent it. Like, "Well, I'm going to need you to do this for me. I need you to go on a date with a friend." And that's how
it goes.
Wow.
just how quick
That
they can get
easy.
sucked in.
Wow. And once you get a hook the one time, it's like, well, what are you going to do now?
Yeah. I mean, once you
Shame, guilt, everything else comes in
once they
once you
have
get
the
you.
fear that something's going to happen, like, "I'm going to talk to your sponsor. I'm going to get you sent back."
Send back. Something's going to happen.
Like,
Yeah.
It's sick.
Super vulnerable. Well, and folks in that world, they know how to manipulate, and they know the buttons to push and the things to go down. Yeah. Well, I think it's incredible work what you guys are doing, and I'm not actually getting off of it. But one of the things I do want to ask before we move on to the next segment is sometimes I think when we're saying all this, we might hear victimless crime. We've kind of talked about that. It's not a victimless crime. These girls don't want to be involved and don't want to do it. But we think, well, I didn't know about it. I didn't know what was going on. I mean, how does this even affect me? How does this affect me? What does it do with my community? Why do I need to be concerned about this?
You got a daughter?
I do. I have two.
What would you do if she was being trafficked?
I would absolutely.
I'd be in jail after what
I'd
I've done.
I would hunt whatever it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
Liam Neeson. Yeah.
Which golly, it's the thing in that movie. I mean, how hard it would be to even find her at that point.
Well, and I don't have the same skills he had in that movie, but
I'm not sure he really had that. No, I'm kidding.
I don't think
we are talking Hollywood here again.
Yeah.
It's not how it happens.
But yeah,
I mean, you go to the depths of you go to the ends of the earth. You go to the ends of the earth.
ends of the earth.
So I can show you, I can't do it right now, but I can show you girls in the area that they're being trafficked, girls
Right
that
now.
we've rescued. And every girl out there, and it's not just girl,
Yeah.
everyone being trafficked is someone's daughter, is someone's wife, is someone's sister, is someone's son. And they all are, it's happening to them without their consent.
Right.
Or they're being forced into it. And that they can't find any hope to get out.
Yeah.
So just because I can't see it, and because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening.
No.
And the key is to get trained.
Yeah.
To learn how to
what to
spot.
look for or what to see.
So I've gotten very involved with the high schools.
Well, do you
here.
want that going on in your community? I mean, I
Yeah,
think we
no
have
kidding.
to wake up. You don't want that in your community. You don't want the people that are willing to do that to the most vulnerable in your community. I mean, I know our community is better than that, and if you're listening, I'm sure your community is better than that. And what can you do? I think that's a great advice to get trained.
And part of it is I love, you talked about elevating women and tackling the porn epidemic. And I call it an epidemic.
Yes.
Tackling the porn epidemic is one of the crucial steps of stopping human exploitation.